Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Maddles and this is another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I have got a best of one game. It is between LiquidZenio, who is of course the blue Zerg player in the lower left. He is playing against SupErB, the red Terran in the top right, and well, this is therefore a ZvT, and that should be really awesome to watch. I'm looking forward to it. This was played on the Korean ladder, I believe. It is from the Razor Replay Pack of the Week, and well, I've heard only good things about this game, so I'm definitely going to cast it exceptionally well, or at least try to. So let me know what you think in the comments below of my casting. Tell me if you think this game is awesome, and if you agree with all the other people who've been saying it is so damn good. Now, basically what should we expect out of these two players? Well, it is a ZvT. Zenio almost certainly going to go for a 15 hatch into a 16 pool. That's very safe to do. SupErB, on the other hand, he has different options available to him, everything from a command center first to one base plays, but I think the most likely thing to see is a one Rax command center build. It is so effective at the moment. It is my favorite opening as Terran against Zerg. I think it is very potent and really puts a lot of pressure on the Zerg, mainly because they're no longer a base up, but that means they either have to take a third base, which on a map like Cloud Kingdom is quite awkward due to the size of the ramp, or they have to essentially do a two base push, and that is never easy against Terran because they're very good at turtling up. So we'll wait and see which option Zenio seems to go for, assuming of course that we do see the CC first or a rack CC, but judging by the amount of minerals banked up, I think we're going to see a command center first build out of SupErB. That is really as economical as you can go. Zenio going for what would appear to be a 16 hatch right now, so slightly later than some people get it, and that actually means that amazingly SupErB got his natural base out before that of Zenio's. So Zenio is now under a lot of pressure to either do a massive two base play or to really try and take a very quick third, and as I've said, neither is ideal for Zerg. Now we do have that drone coming in. We'll see the command center first. It's going to harass that SCV as best it can, because let's face it, if you can delay that command center any and all, it is going to be very good for you. The first barracks is on its way out now. No wall off, that's absolutely fine. I mean, if you're getting a command center down here at the natural first, then walling off isn't really high on your list of priorities. So that's all good. We've got the one gas on its way out. The drone should be able to scout that. That is very important information for Zenio. If you didn't see any gas, then that's a giveaway in itself of what could be coming up. I mean, it is not uncommon to see something like a CC Rax CC build, but you wouldn't have a gas if that was the case. But that is probably the most economically focused build you could ever go. We do have one gas down for Zenio, but he's not doing anything with it yet, just putting over 3 harvesters to it now. We'll probably get speed out. Again, it depends what he's wanting to do. If he wants to do a big push, he may actually go speed and banelings, may get a roach warren out. There's different options available, and that's what really makes it an interesting matchup. The second gas on its way out here for SupErB is getting that second orbit, both orbit commands at the same time. Again, that's going to really help his income with the mules. It can also allow him to get a scan off should he feel he wants to, but with the SCV in here, he's going to have a good idea of what Zenio is planning and will be able to respond appropriately, and that in itself is very helpful. The 2 queens are coming out. Zenio, I reckon, won't just stick on 2 queens, 1 per hatch. He'll get a couple more out, 1 or 2, just to spread creep. That is really essential on this map because it is quite wide. You need to spread down to your third, and also across the map you need those extra creep spreading queens in order to safely take your third and fourth base should the game get that far. Now, we do have Zergling speed on its way out. More drones are coming down, but as of yet, no sign from Zenio of looking to try and take a quick third. He is just, again, the reason I say it's a super quick third is obviously those familiar with Zerg play know that a Zerg player against a fast expanding Protoss would get a 4 to 5 minute third base, but against Terran that would be a bit too risky. Now I love this placement of that bunker. Basically it's shielded off by the ramp, also by the command center, and now this supply depot. That means Zerglings alone would have an incredibly difficult time taking it out, as would Banelings. There's still this area around the back allowing SCVs to get into repair, so that is a very clever position of the bunker. It's something you see quite a bit and something you should focus on doing yourself as a Terran. Now we do have that factory out. We're going to have reactor Hellions as well as a starport. Now I'd imagine what we'll see from that, especially with that tech lab building, is we're going to see reactor Hellions with Banshees as well. That's very good on this map because there is this dead space at both the entrance to the natural and the third, and the main rather. And what you can do there is you can send, say, Hellions down the well, Hellions into the front and those Banshees down the back. That will split the Queens up and can be very difficult to deal with. So we'll see if Zenio does manage to do so. But he's getting an awful lot of Zerglings out right now. The creep spread is okay. He does have that creep only Queen. He has got that third hatch in production now. So he will be back up to be a base up soon. And here comes the switch. So we should see Banshees come out very, very soon. Obviously the Hellions on their way across the map as well. That is great to see. We do now have the fourth gas on its way down, the third gas rather on its way down for Zenio, and well, he's also getting down an evolution chamber, 2 of them at that. So that suggests to me that with the Evo chamber, that it's going to be a very, very upgrade heavy Zergling style. There's no Baneling nest at all either yet, so purely probably going to rush up to Infestors, which would be a fairly good choice. There goes down the Baneling nest, just ready to deal with any pressure. We do have that first Banshee on its way out, and that'll be out imminently. That'll probably come and push around the back. We'll be spotted by the third in the overlord, but that's fine. It's all about essentially trying to split up your opponent, make him multitask at multiple places at once, and really the Banshee's there because if it's not reacted to, it can deal good damage, but if it is reacted to, these Hellions are perfectly comfortable coming in here and doing an awful lot of damage. But Zenio is throwing down those spore crawlers at the main and third base, and the main and natural side. I'm really mixing up my bases. It's because I've done an awful lot of casting today, but I do apologise for that now. These are wow, the Hellions actually nearly took out a Queen. That is super, super good. We do have the third command center being built by SupErB already. Well, he's getting up the double armory, so he's going for a mech style build right now. That is quite a bold play in itself. The second Banshee on its way out. The first Banshee is just coming across the map now. And, well, the Hellions, they're doing good damage at the moment. We've got the Banshee coming in as well. And really the only threat to these Hellions at the moment are, of course, the Banelings. Because Hellions are light by default, and that means the Banelings deal bonus damage to them. But obviously Banelings aren't that fast. The Hellions are very fast, so a good bit of kiting should make things easily defended and allow SupErB to keep on this pressure, and that is precisely what we're seeing at the moment. The Spore Crawler is down at the third base as well. Behind this, SupErB is getting up more factories, he's getting up the double upgrades for vehicles, so this is going to be a very mech heavy build, and it'll be very interesting to see how Zenio responds to that. Obviously these Hellions in such high numbers, it doesn't matter, the Queens are generally good against Hellions. If you have enough of something, it just really beats pretty much anything within reason. Obviously, if you had 100 Marines, for example, against 10 Banelings, if you split well, it'd be good, but for your average player, you probably wouldn't do too well with the Zerglings. If the Banelings did have speed and obviously will creep, but something like Hellions, they're so quick, and I mean, they deal a lot of damage. They have that splash damage in a straight line. They don't want to get surrounded though by those Zerglings. Now it's nearly very close for SupErB. This is properly full of action. The third base has been secured for SupErB right now. Zenio having spent a lot of his APM and attention on dealing with these Hellions and the Banshee. A second Banshee is on its way across the map now. Cloak isn't done because there'd be no need for it with, of course, the Spore Crawler down there. And these Hellions actually harassing this hatchery so much, they're nearly killing a building. When was the last time you saw Hellions kill a building? A good little push, Zenio trying to force the Hellions back as best as he can, but again, getting just a lot of Queens out is helpful, but he needs to be careful. One thing I'm surprised SupErB isn't doing is darting over to basically try and go into the natural. That would be a big commitment though, which is not something he looks like he wants to do at the moment. Blue Flame on its way out. So with 2 Thors and more Banshees, the 1-1 vehicle weapon up and armor upgrades on the way out for SupErB. That's compared to 2 melee upgrades for Zenio, so that means he will have the upgrade advantage. And I mean, essentially mech has a weak moment basically where anything before a near maxed out mech army can be very vulnerable if the Zerg player does respond to it correctly. Once it gets up to that 200 point though, it becomes very difficult to deal with it because the mech is just so strong it can be repaired up. It's incredibly difficult to deal with. Now all these Hellions were there, the Zerglings are going to go down incredibly quickly. Meanwhile, if we take a look down here, so many Queens out. If we look at the loss tab, 1,380 compared to 700 of SupErB. So Zenio not engaging as cost effectively as he would like. He's getting out that Spire. The Thor number's getting higher. This is a really interesting play. He's just building up a mass supply depot wall off. So does not want to have any Zergling 1-bys in the slightest. The 4th base on its way out for Zenio. That will again put him a base up. But for the moment, he isn't. And essentially, he needs to start worrying about the income because it's 73 to 76. with of course this fourth command center on the way, factoring in mules, that should put SupErB ahead in the mineral income quite nicely, which it is already. Now the Hellions, they're coming back down. Blue Flame is now finished. More Thors in production. 17 Mutalisks coming out, and I think that is ultimately down to the fact that Zenio has no idea that there are Hellions out, that there are Thors out at the moment, which obviously do deal splash damage to air units, and Mutalisks come up very well, but this will help deal with the Hellions, fix an immediate problem, and those Hellions are going to have to fall back. He's trying to pick off quite a few creep streamers, doesn't manage to get them all. A 5th base coming out from Zenio as well, so double expanding that is a great move in itself, because you need to start getting ahead. The Thors, one at each base, and this is just a great counter right now, because obviously they were out ready. The second the Mutalisks were spotted, the Thors spread out. You can attack Thors with Mutas, but you have to use a technique called magic boxing, which is effectively, if you were to build a box around the Mutas, you have to click outside of that box and they'll stay in the formation rather than clumping up. And that is something that you really always need to remember to do, and use the stop command rather than trying to move on top of the Thors. So we'll wait and see what's going on. All those Hellions were cleaned up. That was a good win there for Zenio, and now he's going to try and come and do some damage with those Mutas, but it is not going to pay off well, because look, the Thors there, the missile turrets, but luckily Zenio paying attention should be able to get a couple of, well, hits off from those Thors. A couple of Mutas getting very, very low on HP. Behind this, the Infestation Pit on its way, the +1 air attack, the Baning Speed, also drop tech coming out here as well. I'll be interested to see how Zenio chooses to use that. Meanwhile, SupErB, he is flying down that command center. He's going to be taking his 4th base, and this is something Zenio should be concerned about, because he's allowing SupErB to move so well, and there goes a massive hit, and that's exactly what you don't want to do with those Mutalisks, is clump them all up. The resource is lost now. That was a massive loss. If you remember, it was pretty equal the last time we had a look at that. Do not clump up those Mutalisks, Zenio. It will only end incredibly badly for you. Still though, more missile turrets being built up here. This is just pretty much impenetrable to the Mutalisks. They need to be very, very careful. They could go just straight forward, but in my opinion, there is just no way you'd be able to push through there, even with Mutas in such high numbers. Hive is on the way out. We do have another command center being built for SupErB here, who's just absolutely going crazy. Also getting that's and another command center. Seriously, Terrans like their command centers, but in all seriousness, the reason for that is because mech is quite gas heavy, so you end up banking up quite a lot of minerals, and as a result, you need to spend those minerals, and what better way than building command centers, because there's not really much else you can viably go with. High sec auto tracking rather on its way out. We do have siege mode coming down. Neural Parasite on the way for Zenio, so be interested to see how he does that. He's probably going to Neural Parasite a lot of the Thors just to really cut that army up. 2 more command centers being built, but this is exactly why you build spares, because then when the Zerg comes along and kills one of your bases, you just got another one ready, sitting there, ready and waiting. Now SupErB is at a 200 of 200 mech army. His tank count is only at 3, 10 Thors, 16 Blue Flame Hellions. Upgrade wise, we are looking at 2-2 against what should be 2-2 as well for Zenio, so he's in a good spot. His hive is done, he's getting up his 6th base, and he's already on 5, so this is a super macro game. Now, this is a good little run by here. All the mech units are out. Will SupErB just go for it? If I was him, I would do. Forget about this for the moment. Yes, there's a couple of Zerglings and also those Mutalisks, but we've got a bunker up there, and as we can see here, the tank's sieged up. They're going to make absolutely massive damage right now. 3-3 upgrades coming up for Zenio, as well as the adrenal glands. The Thor's just going to town. A great fun with growth though on all of these Banshees, just allowing the Queens to pick them off as quickly as they can. 2 Banshees go down exceptionally quickly right now, and this is again, there's a big counter attack coming in though for Zenio. This is still going on, it's picking off a lot of units. This is almost getting into a bit of a base race situation, but the problem for Zenio is he doesn't seem to have a way to deal with SupErB's army. There's just so much here, and this is the problem you get with mech. Zenio now lost 2 mining bases. That is a big loss for him. He's having to pull back a lot of units. He's getting a lot of units onto the field right now. An awful lot of Zerglings and Banings, some Ultralisks on their way as well, but it all comes down to how this engagement goes, and SupErB really wants to engage in that ramp, because that won't allow the Zerglings to get a good surround. So Infested Terrans getting locked down. Banelings detonate very, very quickly on the Thor. Scan goes down, allowing the Infestors to go down as well, and essentially this is great play by SupErB. He's got in a good position, and it looks like really Zenio is starting to struggle to deal with this, but a lot of this army getting cleaned up. The second wave of units should, in theory, force SupErB back, and maybe even Zenio get some kills, but for the moment, Zenio isn't coming out that well in my opinion. He lost 2 mining bases there, which is a big loss compared to just the 1 mining base loss for SupErB, and well, there goes an orbital command, which does need healing up very, very quickly. So hopefully that will notice it. There we go. So there goes the heals. That is exactly what you want. Another scan goes off, picking off the creep, preventing the creep to go from Zenio, who is now taking another base in the very top left corner. This in itself is an amazing response to mech, and this is so unfortunate. All the drones are there. So many drones getting taken out there. That is a big loss. But what I was saying is this spread absolutely great because mech is very, very slow. Lift force on both of those orbital commands. A big Zervian run by comes in, picks up quite a few units, so this is pretty crazy. Now drones just coming to their death. Oh, that is such a shame to see. Zenio is going to be kicking himself. If we look at the worker kill count, Zenio's killed 28 compared to 31 of SupErB. That is actually quite equal, but the difference is Zenio is replacing those lost drones, whereas SupErB isn't. He's at 45 at the moment, but he is pretty much mined out at his main. He is sitting there on 2-2 upgrades for his units. That's compared to 3-3 about to kick in for Zenio. So Zenio will take the upgrade advantage, and with that, we'll be able to really start dominating this matchup, in my opinion. Now, I am just taking a super quick look at what else is going on. Well, I mean, not too much. I mean, these head-ins are still just sitting there. They're about to kill a hatchery on their own. We should see some good neural power sites. That is absolutely brilliant. Look at all these neural power sites go down on the Thors, and this is like mutual destruction right now. The Ultralisk coming in as well. They're very, very helpful in dealing with this. And suddenly we see huge damage being done. Those neural power sites Thors will get taken down one at a time, and this is suddenly now starting to really go into Zenio's favour. Need to be careful not to lose too much though. This base has managed to go down before the generate creep started, but for the moment we do have big damage being done by these head-ins. This is a massive counter push. Even though it's not many units, it's doing so much damage. The scan goes off, Barry tried to go down, but I mean, again, look at this worker count. It's still in Zenio's favour, but the amount of workers killed by SupErB is so much higher. The Ultra trying to do some damage. Those infestors do have enough energy for a fungal growth, so I'm surprised one didn't go off on the SCVs, because 2 fungals would obviously do it. Burrowed Ultralisks. Oh no, Burrowed Queens, sorry, that was a mistake for me. Not often you see Queens burrow, but a great fungal growth, and SupErB GG's out. Now, I'm just having a look around this map. Why would he GG out? Purely because he has lost all of his mech army, and mech army takes so long to build back up. So guys, I am Maddles, that was an SC2 England cast, and I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please thumbs up the video, give it a like, leave a cool comment below about the casting, the players, the game, anything like that. Follow me on Twitter, which of course is at MaddlesSC2, M-A-D-A-L-S SC2, and well, subscribe because I get new top level games up every single day. So guys, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you did enjoy. Bye for now.